Hi, I'm Hillsborough Town Manager Eric Peterson. This is a summary of the Town Board meeting this past Monday night on December 10th. The Town Board adopted a resolution to drop the speed limits down to 20 miles an hour on the following three streets: South Occoneechee, South Hillsborough, and Calvin Street. And this was to address pedestrian and bicyclist safety concerns in the area, which is going to become even more important as the new Calvin Street connector is going to open up later on this summer, which will have access to Gold Park and the Riverwalk. Our next item, which is Riverwalk Phase 2, which a lot of folks have been interested in. The Town Board approved a contract with Summit Consulting Engineers that work right here in Hillsborough for about $143,000, which is actually $20,000 less than we expected, so that was good news. And that contract entails doing the actual design, the construction drawings, the environmental permitting, and putting together all the work necessary to actually bid the project out, which will take place early in spring of 2013. So we're hoping that construction will start later this summer and complete around 2014 in the summer. So that's good news, and that is actually a $2.2 million project, the Riverwalk Phase 2, which will actually extend from Gold Park, go east all the way down the Eno River, through downtown, go under Churton Street there at the bridge, and then end at the Orange County River Park that goes towards Cameron Street. So that'll be a really big addition in town. And some good news is that we had a $425,000 grant award earlier this year to help pay for that, and we're pursuing additional grant funding earlier this year to help pay for it. The Town Board passed a resolution recognizing Bill of Rights Day, which I understand Hillsborough is the only municipality in the country officially recognizing that. It's a big day in Hillsborough, and it's this Saturday, December 15th, and recognizes the adoption of the Bill of Rights. So folks in Hillsborough that are well aware of the history know that Hillsborough hosted a constitutional convention in 1778, where all the delegates there, which there were almost 300, decided they were not going to adopt the Constitution unless a Bill of Rights was added. And due to that action by the delegates here in Hillsborough, it's prompted the James Madison to end up writing the Bill of Rights. And so they're going to have a big celebration Saturday, 2 p.m., a lot of activity downtown, and so the board wanted to recognize that, so it should be a great time. The Town Board authorized sponsorship for the annual Martin Luther King commemorative march that's going to take place on January 21st. And the Town Board sponsorship was important because anytime there's a special or community event that requires extra town support, either the event provider needs to pay for the additional costs, or the town can agree to sponsor it. And this has been a long-running event, and it addresses a major safety concern. In past years, there had only been one lane of traffic closed, so this year they'll close both lanes of traffic. So when the march starts at the old courthouse and goes north up Churton Street, we'll have to have enough officers to close those intersections off, so that will be able to continue. The next topic is the adoption of the future land use plan for Hillsborough, which has been in the works for the past couple of years. The Town Board deferred action on that. They wanted to get additional community feedback. We'd had a public hearing in October. There have been several open workshops on that. Several minor changes have taken place to the land use plan that the board wanted to make sure we had feedback. Folks can go to the website, which is www.ci.hillsborough.nc.us. The changes are in there. It also includes a color-coded map of the 16 different areas and types of land uses, like whether it's low-density residential or commercial, things like that. So that's all there. And basically, the land use plan is a guide for future development and rezoning decisions in which they're based on. Update on the train station. The Town Board authorized staff to pursue contracts on two really important conceptual design plans. One is what they call a station area, which will go ahead and look at where the station is going to be, how it's going to be located and function, along with everything around that area, as well as conceptual design plan for roadway access, which includes Churton Street and Orange Grove Street. looking at improvements that may need to take place in the short term and in the long term as the station becomes more popular and successful. So the cost on those contracts is about $34,000. It should complete in about 6 months. It's really important this conceptual design work get done, because the next step after that is getting an environmental assessment done, which is a year-long process. So we're trying to keep the ball rolling on this. Environmental assessment is important because we can't get any federal funding to pay for this multi-million-dollar station unless we get that done. So that's the next steps. And we are continuing to work with NCDOT, our legislative delegation, and Triangle Transit Authority on securing federal funding for the station. The town board authorized staff to condemn and secure the property at 525 North Nash Street. There was a hearing held with the property owner of these structures back in October. The result of the hearing is the buildings were deemed unfit for human habitation. That meant the property owner had to go ahead and secure the property, give notice to the police department, and authorize them to enforce the no trespass so people would not go in and reside in these buildings and stay there, and that has not taken place. So the board authorized staff to go post the property as condemned. The police are authorized to enforce it, and there's some additional securing of the buildings that need to take place, and staff is in the process of doing that. The town board discussed the recently adopted smoking ban by Orange County. It's a new Orange County Public Health Board rule that many folks are aware of that severely restricts smoking in public places. The board is definitely very supportive of the concept and the educational benefits of trying to get smoking reduced, though they had some concerns. They were definitely concerned about the legal authority of having a county ordinance imposed inside a town limit without the town's permission, whether that's Hillsborough, Carrboro, Chapel Hill. The town attorney has mentioned in discussions with the attorneys from the other municipalities, they shared similar concerns. There were also some concerns about the practicality of enforcement. How can this be done? Is it an overreach of government authority? Are there any unintended consequences? And some other things that they discussed. Ultimately, they decided not to take any specific action in this evening, even though the ordinance takes effect on January 1st. The mayor will be meeting with the other mayors and the chair of the county commission here shortly. He plans to have that as a discussion point. The board also indicated they'd like to discuss the topic possibly with the Orange County commissioners at an upcoming February workshop to see what can happen. So right now there's just a jurisdictional authority, which is sort of a key depending on what folks will do going forward. So that's a quick summary of the meeting. If anybody has questions about any of these items or other items that are on the town agenda, they can feel free to contact me or anyone else with the town, and we'll do the best we can to get additional information for them or share additional information on what's going on. So happy holidays to everybody.